What's up, everybody? Riley here with Hodson Motors, here with our newest giveaway truck. This is something really special and different that we're doing today. This is our 1990 Chevy Suburban, square body Suburban, just an absolute classic, very cool, very clean truck. And this is different from most of our giveaways. And let's jump in and show you all the goodness that's about it. If you're just stumbling across us here on YouTube and don't know who we are here at Hodson Motors, we build, restore, and give away classic vehicles just like this one here to people just like you who shop on our website, hodsonmotors.com. This will be our 20th vehicle giveaway. This is our Black Friday special. This giveaway on this truck will only go for 4 days. That's Black Friday all the way till Cyber Monday at the end of the day, Monday. And then this giveaway will close Cyber Monday 2023. This giveaway's over. So that's 4 days only to get in to win this bad boy. But we're not just giving away a factory original square body Suburban. We're also giving you, the winner, 10 grand in cash or 10 grand in modifications. So today we're going to kind of talk about some of those modifications, some of the things that maybe I would do if it was my truck. But we'll go over the whole thing. And again, if the winner just loves the truck just how it is and they don't want to spend any of that money, they can take that 10 grand in cash and just drive this bad boy home just the way that it is. With that being said, let's hop in, let's go over it and do all the goodness that is this square body Suburban. So this bad boy, 1990. So the square body Chevy or square body GM trucks went from 1973 all the way until 1991 was the last year you could get a square body Suburban. So it is their longest era of trucks. And what changed throughout all that whole era was nothing on the sheet metal. The sheet metal is the same from 1973 to 1991. However, the grille, the front end, the front fascia, the bumpers, that kind of stuff did change throughout the years. We've done several other videos on square body Chevys and square body Suburbans. We did a square body Suburban last year, around this same time last year. It was a big 12 valve Cummins swapped, really big, our biggest giveaway that we have ever done still to date. The most amount of people who've ever gotten in on a giveaway was on that Suburban. And so we've done some other videos on Suburbans, on square bodies, and the things that you should look out for when you're buying a square body, stuff like that. We'll link all that stuff down in the description below. In 1989, they went to this very small quad rectangular headlight design with the turn signal running light down below. This grille is very reminiscent for the next body style of Chevy. A lot of people call it the OBS Chevy, but more often referred to as the GMT trucks. This grille is very similar to the GMT trucks from the early and mid 90s. This grille is very similar to those. And then in this later body style, we got these kind of bumpers that have these little bumper guards on them. These are non-reproduced bumper guards. You cannot get them. I've had a bunch of people say, hey, if you get rid of that bumper and you do a winch bumper, I want that bumper because I need those bumper guards. These are pretty hard to find. I wouldn't call them, particularly attractive, but they are rare and hard to find. So, but again, in the front end, it's kind of, you got to get that 90s flair. However, the truck is still very much the same truck from all the way from the 70s all up into the 80s. Let's come down the side here. Talk about the paint job real quick. One of the reasons why we bought this truck is because we knew this would make a really good quick giveaway, something fun for you guys, because this paint job is actually pretty halfway decent. There's a couple little flaws here and there, a little chip in the hood, some stuff like that, that if the winner decides to keep it silver, that we'll go ahead and touch up for them. But I would not use your 10 grand to repaint this truck. The paint is good, it is bright, it is shiny. If anything, if you want to use it to make it look nicer, I would maybe color sand this thing and really make it pop and get rid of any leftover orange peel. But I will say the paint job is good. It is a good paint job. It will last for a lot longer. This is the factory color. It is a respray at some time in its life, but this is the factory color that the truck came with. Very clean. And it's pretty nice, and I think a silver truck is just always going to be timeless. Let's go out down here and talk about some of the only modifications done to the truck. So this thing is running stock suspension currently, and so it rides very, very, very soft. However, it is running on some 35-inch BFG KO2s, rolling on some 17-inch Ultra Motorsport wheels from the 2000s probably. Now, when we first bought the truck, I was like, I got to get rid of these wheels. I'm just going to be dead honest with you guys right now. I think these wheels are awfully ugly. They kind of match the squarey style of the truck, I won't lie, but I do think that they are pretty stinking ugly. So I was gonna go out and spend some money and replace the wheels, but I thought, what if I replace the wheels with something that the winner doesn't like? And then the winner's like, oh, I don't like those wheels, I want to buy new wheels anyway. So we're gonna leave that decision up to the winner. But if you like the wheels, good for you. Keep them on there, save that money, put it towards something else. As we keep walking down the side here, we have this power mirror option on these trucks. Normally, these square body trucks had the iconic mirror that kind of bolted with 3 bolt locations on the door, and it was like kind of a toe looking mirror, very similar mirror on first gen Cummins and stuff like that. But this is kind of a goofy power mirror setup going on here. They actually work really good. The power mirror motors both work on both sides. It works really freaking good, and the visibility is actually pretty great on these bad boys. So they're a little goofy. They come up into the wing window and everything, but they work just fine. They don't get in the way. There's nothing wrong with them. I think this is just one of those early 90s, late 80s flair things that makes it different from other square body Chevys, but they do work really good and they've got great visibility. Coming down the side, you've got all your 1500 Silverado trim going down the side. Again, this stuff is not reproduced and it's very hard to find. These doors are really nice. If you've ever owned a square body Chevy, you know the doors can be hard to open and shut. This thing shuts good. The doors shut good. They shut easy with one hand. They look really good. But as we keep coming down the side here, we've got some nice Smitty built rock guard step thingies. Now, I love to do amp step or rough country power electric running boards. However, that could be kind of an expensive option. It's about $2,000 to $2,500 option after you pay for installation. It's always got to be custom. Nothing is just a bolt in on classic trucks. However, we've gotten pretty good at doing them over the years. So if you don't like these tube running boards, we can ditch them and go to a aftermarket running board that will tuck up nice and tight, and you'll never see them. They look really good. But these work out just great. They're right at the right height and they don't protrude too far. And so we left them on and said, hey, if the winter doesn't like them, and if they don't want anything, because the truck's not that tall, you know, you can get into it without even using the step. So if the winter doesn't want to do it, then they don't have to do it. As we keep walking down the side here, we have just the one single exit side exit exhaust. This truck is actually very quiet. We talk about that in our driving impressions. The truck it purrs like a kitten and is super quiet. So maybe you like that, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to chop out the muffler, do some headers, do something else to make this thing more of a hot rod. You absolutely could if you wanted to. But I actually like that. It's pretty quiet. It makes it a nice family vehicle. As we come around the backside here, we've got a new replacement rear bumper in really brand new chrome bumper. Looks good. The old bumper was crunched up and pretty nasty. And then we've got the barn doors. I love the barn doors or the ambulance doors. They're super nice. And these open and shut super nice and easy. You got your straps over there to keep it from bonking the body, but these actually open and shut super nice. So this is a great option. I love the barn door look. Some people like the classic tailgate with the power roll down window. I think these are better in my opinion. I think they're cooler. But back here in the back, you can see some of the real good classicness to it. In here, we've got your factory spare. I don't believe that this is factory carpet over this spare tire, but it still has the factory spare. This is factory carpet. It's got a little bit of age to it, a little burn mark here, but this actually is the factory carpet. It's in really good shape. We'll talk about the interior later. The interior on this truck is really nice, but one of the only little boogers with the interior is this little munch in this back seat back here. But up here, you can see the rear air conditioning. This has a rear AC unit, which is really nice. But again, like all the plastics, all the pillars, everything there is in good shape. The door panels for the backs are both in really good shape. These are fiberglass, and when they're all cracked up and beat up, they suck, but this is actually in really good shape. Just a little discoloration and everything, but again, very nice, really solid back here. And then again, they shut easy. You're not slamming them, and they work pretty nice. See? Back here, we polished up our tail lights. They're super nice. Suburbans have the fuel filler door, on the passenger side. Up in there, there's your fuel filler. And then this is the bigger tank truck. So this is a 35-gallon tank, really big. So with that, let's go and hop in. Let's show you guys the interior, show you how nice it is. The truck is very nice on the inside. It's one of the reasons why we bought the truck, was because the interior is in phenomenal, near original condition. So let's hop over there and let's show it to you. All right, here on the inside, the truck is very nice. So these are the factory bucket seats in the front, the factory bench in the rear, the factory third bench in the far in the back. Some things in here have been reupholstered. This is a new dash pad, and then the headliner is brand new, but this is the original center console, shifters. This is actually original carpet. Now it's got some discoloration. However, it's still fresh carpet. It's not crunchy or nasty. These are the original seat belts. This is back in the day when you had the double retractors, top and bottom, but the seat belts are good. They're not crunchy and nasty. This is the factory overhead console. All these lights in here work still. They're not very bright, but you know, you got cubbies for your sunglasses and all sorts of good stuff up in there. So that's all really cool. The dash is in great shape. Let me show you some of this stuff up in here. Okay, then in here in the dash is a factory steering wheel. It's in great shape. It's not peeling or anything. It all works and is real good. You know, great horn. Obviously, this is a new wood grain dash panel, but these are the original gauges. The truck has 221,000 miles on it, but it was pulled behind an RV the majority of its life. So we don't know how many miles are actually on it, but because it runs and drives so dang well, I cannot think that it has too many miles on it. But again, these door panels just in incredible condition. Window switches, everything, all this works. Power windows, power door locks, everything in here works. This is your power mirror switch like we talked about, on your left side, on your right side, and it works. You can hear those motors. So that's all really cool. Again, you've got your nice column with tilt in it. So you've got a tilt column, your tilt shift, air conditioning. So this is the controls for the front AC, And then over here you have your rear AC controls, which powers that AC in the back. And then we did this Jensen singled-in touchscreen. This is wireless CarPlay. Let me show you. We got wireless CarPlay in this bad boy, and it is freaking killer. It'll boot up here in a second. Pops up, my phone will instantly connect here in just a few seconds, and then it'll pull my phone up without me having to do anything, which in my opinion is such a massive, massive improvement. There it goes. So in just a few seconds, it all loads up and does good. So that you've got all your stuff there, your Spotify, you got your text messages. The truck actually has an aftermarket sound system with an amplifier underneath the center console here, and it sounds actually really, really, really nice. So yeah, the Jensen CarPlay is an awesome addition to it. And normally the radios are kind of far away when you're driving a square body. You know, you kind of got to reach really far in there to get to your radio controls. And since this protrudes out a bit, you can reach your volume control knob pretty easily without having to lean forward and make an issue there. All of our gauges work, so coolant, you know, everything, so everything is good there. Maybe one thing I would add is moving the fuel gauge down here to the battery, because this gauge is just the battery voltage gauge. It just turns a light on. Maybe I would move the fuel gauge and add a tachometer there, but again, that's up to the winner. As far as everything else in here goes, again, this overhead console is super nice. These seats are just super nice. Hi, Sterling. These cubbies, the center console is kind of goofy and funny. It's got square cup holders, but actually holds things really well. And we got just some paint or something in there from beforehand. We plan to rip this apart and scrape all that out, but for now we figured for the video you guys wouldn't care. You got these map pocket holders, which are really cool, gives you plenty of storage, and those are super nice too. Let me show you the back seat, show you what we're working with back there. In the back, this is the factory second row. It's in really good shape as well. All the seatbelts work, everything's good there. These seats flip down and fold forward and there, so that you can make this thing really spacious in the back, put a bed back there, whatever you want. Let's go check out the third row as well. In the back here, again, rear door panels in phenomenal shape. Rear door panels are hard to find, very hard to find. So when you find them in great shape like this, you just gotta count your blessings. They're great. Something that always makes me laugh is you get a rear ashtray, you know. Man, that thing has never been opened, but you get a rear ashtray, which is always funny to me. You know, maybe back in the day, kids used to smoke. There's your amplifier underneath the center console. But again, this rear seat is just in killer shape. No tears, no rips, really good condition. And then there's your third row back there, your back seat. Also, from this view, in very good shape. Can't really even see that rip. But, and then you've got your ashtrays in the rear seats as well. So all the way in the back, you got ashtrays. And then up there's your rear AC unit, and it does blow plenty of air. So if you have a bunch of kids, they're not going to be suffocating in the back. All right, with that all being said, let's pop the hood. Let's show you what's under the hood. So under the hood, this is very factory. So this is a Chevy 350 V8, one of the most long-running and reliable motors of all time. They are not racehorses. You're not going to win any drag races, but they are very reliable. And this thing purrs like an absolute kitten. The air conditioning blows ice cold. Got a nice yellow top battery, and then everything in here again is all GM parts. So if anything breaks down, you can go to the parts store, get it all fixed. They're very easy. So there's nothing really custom up here at all. So if you do have any issues, you're not going to be stranded. You can go to any parts stores and get parts for trucks like this. But again, Chevy 350 TBI. So this is not a carburetor. This is fuel injection. And it runs like a fuel injected vehicle. This thing runs like an LS swap. It really does. And so when you talk about that 10 grand that winner's going to get, maybe they say, oh man, I want to LS swap it, or I want to come and swap it. And if this was my vehicle and I was keeping it and I had a $10,000 budget, I would not touch this engine and transmission. The 4-speed automatic behind this 700R4 runs and shifts so good, and you have overdrive on the highway. And then this 350 makes plenty of power for a 1500 Suburban. And so again, I wouldn't do anything to it. This has half-ton axles. It's a Chevy 12-bolt rear. Now in 1990, this would have had a 10-bolt rear, but at some point in this thing's 33-year-old life, it got a 12-bolt swap in the rear, so it's got a 12-bolt rear. It's got a Chevy 10-bolt front axle. So again, if this thing was pushing the torque that a diesel might produce, it might not like these half-ton axles, might not like it. So again, if you want to do a diesel swap, this might not be the correct vehicle to do it. However, this would handle an LS swap just totally fine. But again, with it being me, when we first bought this truck, we pulled it in the shop. We did new plugs, new wires, new rotors, cap. We did a full tune-up, engine tune-up, transmission tune-up, and the thing just runs and drives so good. We tore apart the rear axle, we put new axle shafts in, all new brakes are all the way around. So mechanically, I would not spend any of that 10 grand on this thing. You could fly in today, drive the truck home and take the 10 grand in cash. You don't need to do anything. And that was the goal with this giveaway, was we didn't want to have to, we wanted to give you the truck complete. You don't need to do anything to it. We want you to spend that 10 grand on fun things. Now, if the winner still decides that they don't care and they want to dump their 10 grand into this, me personally, I would spend a little bit of money making a little bit more power out of the 350. There are some simple things you can do to a 350 to make it make better power without having to go and pull the whole engine and do an engine swap or anything like that. So there are some things you could do to make it have a little more horsepower, do a little bit better on the freeway, stuff like that, but you absolutely do not need to. But let me show you how she purrs. She really does run and drive really good. So let me start it up so you can hear it. So as you can see, it's not loud. I'm talking at a normal voice and you can absolutely hear me there. So for a daily driver, a family vehicle, this is great. And me personally, I wouldn't make it any louder. I actually really like that it's pretty quiet. You can cruise it every day. So with that being said, let's hop in and let's go drive it so you can see what it's like on the road. All right, we are cruising in the 1990 Chevy Suburban 1500. Guys, this thing is great. And the first thing that you might notice as you're watching this video is how little noise you might hear in the background of this video. It is quiet, it is comfortable, it is very much confidence inspiring. I would feel confident letting my wife drive this, loading my boys up in this thing. It's great. And now when you're talking about classics, a lot of times you're talking about hot rodding them and stuff like this, and this truck right now is very, very, very stock, very OEM, not very hot roddy at all. But with that 10 grand that we're giving you, you can make it more of a hot rod, you can make it make more noise and hear it. But right now it's very quiet, which actually makes for a really good highway cruiser, really good family vehicle to be able to just cruise and talk to people, and your kids can be in the back seat and saying, Dad, you can talk to them and hear them, and it's totally fine. But very, very, very comfortable. These bucket seats, these captain seats with their dual armrest, armrest on both sides, very comfy. Just a really good, really, really, really good seat. One of the first seats in classics that have actual recliner feature. So you can put these seats back or forward or whatever. So the seats are good, they're comfortable. I did a couple hours, like 4 hours straight in these seats, flew into California to pick this truck up and drive it back home to Las Vegas. Did 4 hours straight and felt no fatigue from the seat. It was great, super comfortable. So the interior is very, very, very nice, very cozy and comfy. The center console is great. I've got my flask in here and my phone in the other cubby, and it's all good and comfortable and plenty of places to put your stuff. We've got little map pockets down here on the center console, map pockets on the door card, so you do have a fair amount of storage, which is one of people's biggest complaints when they're driving a classic, is like, I don't know where to put my stuff. And there's plenty of places to put your stuff in this bad boy. So no complaints there, that's for sure. This thing purrs like a freaking kitten. It is super smooth. Now, I've owned a variety of different vehicles with 350 V8s, Chevy 350s. And this might be the smoothest 350 I've ever owned. This thing is crazy, silky, silky smooth. Just like the most smooth power band. And it is firing on all 8 cylinders, like perfectly in time. It is very, very, very smooth. One of the great things about this 1990 is it is still a classic truck, because square body Chevys are classics. However, in 1990 and 89, I guess, you get some niceties, some modern touches that you don't get in the older trucks that make this feel really, really, really good. The truck feels like an LS swap truck, even though it's not LS swapped. It feels very much like an LS swap truck, but it's great. So you get some of those modern amenities, which are very, very, very nice to have. One of those being the TBI 350. These TBIs are, they've got their quirks and stuff that people, as you work on them, you figure them out. But however, in this truck right now, as it sits, this thing just absolutely purrs like a kitten, and is plenty happy. Transmission, well, actually I'm coming to brakes to talk about brakes. Brakes are great. Now these these Chevys had push-pull steering, and so under hard braking, you get some counter steer from the brakes or whatever, so you get some steering from the brakes. You got to fight it a little bit because of the push-pull, rather than just regular crossover steering, which is a lot more stable. But push-pull steering is easy. It's got good turn radius. There are some benefits as to why companies like Chevy and Dodge were doing push-pull steering versus Ford doing crossover steering. There's some benefits and some back and forth to be said about both of those and why you would choose one or the other. But steering in this truck is actually very, very, very good, very stable on the highway. This truck is not a boaty truck. You're not all over the road. You're not having to fight the steering input. The caster is proper on it. Like, the truck steers down the road perfectly fine. It does really, really, really well. So that's a huge plus. Steering is great. Transmission. This is one of the only years of the Squarebody Chevy that you could get a 4-speed automatic transmission. You didn't have the regular 3-speed Turbomatic TH400 or TH350. This is a 700R4 automatic transmission, and this tranny is great. It shifts perfectly smooth, does great. It's great to have that overdrive transmission on the freeway as well, so that's a lot of fun to be able to actually do highway speeds and be able to cruise this thing cross country. Our hope with this truck and with this giveaway is that whoever wins it flies in, brings their family, loads their family up, and freaking cruises this baby cross country back home wherever they may be going, because you can absolutely do so. Now, we are now on the freeway here doing 70 miles an hour. I want to pass this guy, and on my way home, I was doing 85 all the way home from California, just no big deal. So, you know, you are not limited to 70 miles an hour with cruising this thing. You can drive it, you know, as fast as it'll take you. But we're doing 70, and even still at 70 miles an hour, the road noise is minimal, the wind noise is minimal. I'm not having to shout to talk to you guys, and if I had a passenger in here, I wouldn't have to shout to talk to them either. So, on the freeway, 70 miles an hour, just super comfortable. You're not like, oh crap, I have to drive my Classic, but I don't want to get on the highway with it, and I want to take service streets. No, this is one of those, you want to drive it on the freeway, drive it on the freeway. You want to drive it on service streets, drive it wherever, you know. This is one of those sell your daily and daily this thing instead kind of trucks, which is, you know, with today's fuel prices, isn't the easiest thing to do. However, this thing has a massive fuel tank. I think this is the 35-gallon fuel tank. 35 or 40 gallons? The big fuel tank, okay, that you can get in these options. And this thing, you fill it up, and you're going like 3 weeks on a tank of gas in this bad boy. So that's fun. I hate going to the gas station more than I hate gas prices. Like, I hate just having to take that time out of my day. So having the big tank is a huge plus for sure. We're going up the steep grade here in Las Vegas right now, and truck is doing just fine, but get her down into 3rd gear, and again, truck downshifts effortlessly. There's no big clunking, nothing crazy, and does just fine. So we're climbing this here big grade. Even on a big steep grade like this, we're still doing 55, 60 miles an hour. This is the worst grade in town. Even my truck, my daily, which is a 5.3 LS, even it slows down going up this big grade. So, but we're able to accelerate, get back up to 60 up that grade, no big deal. So, again, driving around, cruising around, highway speeds, you know, the truck really does do it all. Being that it's only on 35-inch tires, it's not pushing around a crazy ton of weight as if you're doing 37s, 38s, 40s. But the power band is there, the RPM range is there, it's comfortable from 70 to 85 miles an hour, so it's not like you're revved out or anything like that. So, it's great, and yeah, so let's hop back out now that we've driven it, and let's finish this video. Something else that I failed to mention is this vehicle's insane visibility. Obviously, Classics have massive front windshields, and yeah, it's forward visibility is always good. You've got these great mirrors. These are a power mirror option on these trucks, which actually, I don't want to speak too soon. I think this was a factory power mirror option, but they're great, and you see plenty in the mirrors. But the craziest thing about the visibility in here has got to be like all the glass behind you. When you look over your shoulder, check your blind spot, like you have all the visibility in the world. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a blind spot in the mirrors, but you know, you're not looking at the C-pillar when you look back behind you or anything like that. You just see freaking all the glass in the world. So even though the truck's really big, it is not It's not terrifying. Like you're like, oh, I'm driving this big old massive Suburban and I'm gonna run somebody over. It's like, no, you actually have really good visibility. So another good thing about the truck, I guess. All right, with that being said, that's it for this video. We can't wait to see who wins. This is gonna be an exciting giveaway with just 4 days of it being open. This will be really quick, really fast. So if you're watching this video during those 4 days, go ahead and get onto hodsandmotors.com. Don't wait around. We're not doing any bonuses, nothing like that. So you can get in whatever day you can, whatever day you're seeing this. Get in, get your entries, get in and win this bad boy. And I can't wait to see what you do with the $10,000. I can't wait to see, you know, are you going to do bumpers like an engineered vintage or a buck stop bumper, front bumper, a worn style front bumper with a winch? Are you going to do a roof rack? Like, do you want to do power steps? Do you want to upgrade the 350? What do you want to do? We can't wait to see all the things that you can do to it. We can't wait to see who wins. We always have great winners every single time. It's always super exciting. So again, with that, go to hodsandmotors.com, get in there to win this bad boy, and make sure you subscribe to us here on YouTube for all the latest goodies that we're giving away, and follow us on Instagram at hodsandmotors as we post there every single day. So again, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.